Welcome to the Get Published podcast, sponsored by Brody Consulting Group. To get more information about our publishing and coaching services, go to getpublishedpodcast.com. Hello, I am Paul Brody, and thank you for joining us for another episode of the Get Published podcast, where we help authors get published with a proven system that works. Today, we're being joined by Tracy DeJarnett, author of the Deadly series. Tracy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Are you ready to get started?
I am.
All right. Question number 1. What is the one piece of advice that you would give to a first-time author who is currently writing their book?
Well, I'll tell you what. I love to stream of consciousness write or automatic writing. That's one of my favorite things to do. But what I learned from that is it's much more painful at the end in terms of rewriting it 2 and 3 times. So definitely start with an outline and a character, sketch that really helps it flow, and it really helps you in the end when you're putting your whole story together.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, outlines are critical, especially to have that structure.
Yes.
What do you feel is the hardest part about getting published?
Well, it's a new day today. So, I considered going out and getting a publisher. But with so many options in self-publishing, that's what I chose to do. It's not great for everyone, but it certainly is great if you don't want to have inventory on hand and you want to get your book out there quickly. So for my first 2 books, I am self-publishing, and there's just so many great platforms out there to use that I highly recommend it if that fits your model.
Yeah, 2 things I always talk about is you have the creative freedom, and more importantly, you can get the book out as quickly as possible. You don't have to wait for a publisher. You don't have to wait for potentially anywhere from 6 months to a year to even a year and a half. You can have that book out there as soon as a few weeks from now.
That's right.
Well, let's talk about marketing. So please share a marketing strategy that you've used in your book launch that worked well.
Well, my favorite thing now is that with social media, you can really include and build your community around the book before you even publish. So for me, I started building our community with Facebook and Twitter, and I would share elements of the book and, things about insights about the character, and kind of took the audience along on the journey. It was a lot of fun. They got to learn a little bit about how the story was coming together, and I think it built some anticipation for when the story was actually available and published. And that one has worked really well for us.
So you mentioned building the communities on Facebook and Twitter. Did you actually create a Facebook community or like a launch group or anything, or were you mainly focusing on your connections that you already had on Facebook?
So we actually went beyond, just my friends and family. So they're a small fraction, actually, of our community. So, we did use some advertising. We did some sharing in our community. We asked them to share outside of their network. And we grew it pretty organically in the beginning. Of course, advertising is always a great way to amplify your message if you want to grow it quickly. So I would say, maybe 10%, 15% are the friends and family network, and then the rest are really growing organically and then reaching beyond the network.
Well, you mentioned Facebook advertising. So were you boosting posts, or were you actually building up traditional ads in Facebook?
So I like to boost posts. I think that's a great tool to use. It makes it easy. It's building on content I'm already publishing, and it's they make it so easy to do. So that's what we pretty much stuck to.
Yeah, that is a great strategy to do that. Plus, it's also a lot cheaper than going through the traditional advertising routes with Facebook.
That's right. When you're a new author, especially, you've got to watch your dollars that you put into it, and so that was a great way to go.
Well, let's talk about your favorite book. So what is your favorite book, and what was the number one thing that you learned from it?
Well, it's an interesting book, I think, because as a writer of novels, I really want to, my end game is to turn this series into a movie. So I really wanted to learn more about screenwriting. So I found this book called Save the Cat by Blake Snyder. And what I love about this book is he has a lot of success in the formula. And there really is a formula when you're writing a successful book or a successful screenplay that makes it into a movie. And as much as we want to fight against that for our creative freedoms, there really is a formula you can follow where you are going to be more successful. The setup, the cliffhanger, the way you resolve it, and hence the name of the book, Save the Cat. Everyone needs a save the cat scene to make the hero beloved to the reader, to the watcher and the audience. And so I love that book. It was short, to the point, really made it clear what formula you can follow. Of course, you can break some rules, but it's really nice to know a proven formula you can build from.
And for a final question, what is your favorite quote and why?
Well, this was a hard one. I really love anything by Ralph Waldo Emerson or Dr. Seuss. Either of those two I love, but the one that is really resonating with me today is Ralph Waldo Emerson's quote, "Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail."
And it reminds me about the road less traveled.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, Tracy, I want to thank you for being a guest on the show. What is the best way for people to find you online?
Probably the best way to find me would be on my LinkedIn page. So it's just Tracy DeJarnett. You'll find me there. I don't think there are any other Tracy DeJarnett there. Find me on LinkedIn. I look forward to connecting.
Well, Tracy, I want to thank you again for being a guest on the show, and I wish you all the best in your author journey ahead.
Thank you so much.
Thanks again for joining us today. To learn more about how to get your book published with a proven system that works, grab a free copy of my book at getpublishedpodcast.com.